Hey everybody, it is Demo Donna here, and we are going to put together this very fun flower pop-up card. Really had fun putting this together. This is a fabulous die set from Pink and Main. All the information is in the description of this video so you can create your adorable flower pop-up card. This does travel flat when it is all said and done, which is great. And 90% of this is Pink and Main products. I of course added just a couple extra elements to make it a pure Demo Donna Design Studio class. Like always in my class, you receive everything to make 2 cards, and I do still have some of these kits available if you would like to order a easy to create pre-cut out kit, or if you want to start designing some of your own using this great design, you can just grab the die over at Pink and Main. Just make sure you use code DEMODONNA, all one word, and you'll receive a little thank you gift. Okay, so to get started, we are going to separate. So I have grabbed my base. There's 2 different, it's kind of hard to tell right away, but there are 2 different green ones. So you want to separate 2 different ones here. One's a little lower and one's a little higher frame. So this is all the framework and the base of your card for one card, and the one with the jar. So now that I've separated the 2, I'm going to do the same with my leaves, and then my stems, my sunflowers, my flowers, and then whether or not, I'm just going to scooch these guys over, and then whether or not you want to do a thinking of you or get well, I'm going to do a thinking of you. And then you are going to use this for both of your cards, so I'm going to keep that here as well. And then you have your really fun raffia ribbon. It comes like this, but for those of you that ordered the kit, I opened it all up for you guys, so you don't have to fuss with this. Phew, right? Okay, we are going to start with folding our card base, and it should fold pretty easily. If it trips you up a little bit, you can always score it, but I am just basically following those score lines. And then you have a little score line for both edges here. And I usually kind of start by forcing it a little bit, and I did this originally with the heavier weight paper, and I just found it was a little tougher. It was easier with the 60 or 65 pound weight cardstock. So if you're recreating this with the dies, just a little heads up, it is easier with a lighter weight cardstock for the base. Okay, now that we have those guys all folded up, we can set this aside, but now we have that guy good to go. So we folded the 2 sides up, and then these 2 little 1/8 inch tabs in. So now I'm gonna set that aside, and we are gonna work on our beautiful green frames. We're just gonna set that over there too. So you've got, this is the back frame, and the one with the sunflower and the flower sprigs lower is the front frame. So I am gonna start by putting my green leaves on, and you've got 3 different green leaves, so find where they fit. So this smaller one, I want to say, goes right there. And I think those are the same. Gotta find my other matching leaf here. There we go. That one's gonna go right there. And then the largest one goes up here. And now I'm gonna go ahead and glue all 3 of them. I did leave my glue lid off, but she's coming around, everybody. And please do yourself a favor and go check out what the other designers have done with this. So basically, if you go to this product and click on it, you can see design options when you head over to pinkandmane.com, which is awesome. It's always fun to see what different designers do with the same thing. And sometimes it's fun to copy the color palette, and sometimes it's fun to just get some ideas and then create something different on your own. All right, so I have now done the 3 leaves, like so. There we go. Next, we are gonna do the light green leaves. So these guys here, these sprigs. And I'm gonna do my taller one first. And I am just I'm gonna pretty much put glue everywhere. Whoop. I mean, if you're not throwing or dropping the project you're working on, are you doing it right? I don't know, where's the fun in that? Okay, place that right over. It's so nice and easy, the placement of these. And that's why I used 3 different greens, even though this is pretty close to this base. But now you see you've got the leaves, which are separate, and then you've got the sprig, which is a separate green. They're all kind of pretty light, but I wanted the sunflower one to have a different color as well. All right, next we are gonna add the little guy. Can't leave out the little guy. And add my glue all over the back. There we go. And place that down. Great, since it's paper on paper, it goes pretty quick. And then next, we are gonna take our gold flower bases. You should have 6 for each card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I am gonna just glue those on. So I am going to just add 3 drops of glue. I'm gonna use my pickup tool. Let's see. Oh, good, it will work. I'm like, hopefully it's not too heavy. And there we go. I'm just scooching it over a little bit. And then I'm gonna do the same with my second one. 1, 2, 3. All right, and a 1. And a 2. That pickup tool works perfect. And a 3. Much easier. I did not do that when I created my sample. So, all right, and now we are going to, so that glitter background is going to be like a little glitter accent on these. And actually, if you wanted to do something different and maybe do some orange and like reverse it, so do an orange background with a full glitter flower, if you wanted a more glittery look, you can do that as well. But now, knowing I'm gonna lift that up, I'm just putting the glue towards the top. And then I'm gonna pick up 6 of these as well. And I already went and separated mine. So you probably have 2 stuck together because I did cut them out in 2s of the lighter paper. So I'm placing it down and then kind of scooting it up so you get that little glitter shadow, which looks really pretty. It looks like you took a glue pen and accented all of those, but instead you just layered up, did a double layer. And we are going to do the same with these. 1 and 2 and 3. And I'm just gonna place these down. Like I said, I already separated mine, so make sure you separate yours before you stick them on. go. All right, so now you've got all of your greenery and you've got your beautiful little sprigs with the little buds ready to go. And next I'm going to take my sunflowers. So these are 2 different sizes. Some of them, the darker yellow is in the back. Some of them, the lighter yellow is in the back. So just kind of depends how I cut those out. All right, so I'm just going to add adhesive to the center, and I'm leaving my little petals popped up. And I even like that there's kind of a green shadowing. And then I'm going to take the second one and again just pop up those petals by giving them a light fold, just adding adhesive in my center and kind of twisting it around until you see there's a nice like different volume where now I've got a little bit of the green, a little bit of the light yellow, and the dark yellow. And then I am going to add my glittery center. And there are more options when you buy the die. There's 3 different layers to the center of this sunflower, but because I was adding the glitter paper, really we only needed 1. When I started kind of layering stuff up, it got lost with the glitter paper. So just using your 1 circle, which was like the medium size, was perfect. And the larger one kind of covers up those petals, and I wanted to be able to pop them up. So that's why I went with the medium-sized circle. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to set that down there. And then we are going to take 2 of these fun little paper flowers. I just thought they were a nice add-on. And I'm going to add 1 here. You can place these wherever you'd like. And I'm going to add 1 here. Okay, next we're going to do something a little different than what the actual die does. So in theory, this goes on top with the vase or the jar when you are finished with this. But because we're adding vellum, I am going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the jar off. So I'm just going straight across. And don't worry, because we are going to be covering up the front base here. Just make sure you don't cut all the way through. So I've just removed my jar, and we're putting our little get well or thinking of you over there. So we're going to be covering that little spot where we cut the jar off. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to take our jar and we are going to take our pencil tool, and I am just going to kind of hold it down here, and I am going to lightly trace it. And you can fit 2 of your jars on this 1 piece of vellum. So here's my first jar, and you can go ahead and trace both of these now. And I know you're thinking, but it's overlapping. It's okay, because you're cutting this out smaller. So technically I should have gone all the way to the edge. That would have given me more space, but I'll still have room. All right, so now when I cut this out, I am actually cutting on the inside of that tracing line. So I'm not going on top of the trace, I'm going on the inside. And this is going to be glued behind the white frame of the jar. Just like so. So none of that cutout is really going to be seen. And like I have a little spot here that's still needs to be trimmed a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just gonna add some glue to my jar. And you don't want too much because you will see it kind of seep on the outside of your vellum. So that'll be good. And then I'm gonna just position that down. I guess a little dot on this guy will be good. Just a little bit. I think I added a little too much. There we go. Okay, so that is my cool little transparent vellum jar. So let that dry for a sec. I'm gonna add this guy on top of it for now. And then next we are gonna take our already untwined, and you are gonna cut this into 4 pieces. So I'm gonna first cut it in half. And don't worry, this is plenty. So if you've got a little tear in yours, don't worry about it. It's a very thin paper. Okay, so that is my first cut, and then I'm gonna cut these guys in half too. And like I said, you have more than enough for both of your cards. And it doesn't need to be perfect. So then save this for your other one, and then you're gonna cut that in half again. So now I have these really fun little pieces. And the first thing we are gonna do is we are gonna wrap it around our vase, our jar here. So I am going to trim it just a little bit larger, and I'm gonna tape it to the back side. So I'm gonna grab just 2 little pieces of my Easy Tear tape. I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm gonna start here. There we go. And just put it down on one side, and then I'm gonna bring it around. So it's like a ribbon is wrapped around your jar. And then when we get to the back, push that down. And there we go. There it is. You could squish it down a little bit. So what's great about it being paper is it is fun to manipulate. All right, there we go. Now we are gonna actually glue this on our short guy here. So that is going to get, I'm gonna put just a little bit adhesive here. So I'm gonna drop some adhesive here, and I'm gonna do a line down there, and we are gonna place it right about there. And you know, I might even have that little flower plop over my vase, which is why I never stick glue all over my flowers. There we go. All right, so I've got my jar down. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And while that's drying, we are gonna tie a bow. So as you can see, you have, this was all for one card, and this is what you have for the second one. So you have plenty. So like I said, if you rip your paper or you need a couple more times trying to tie a bow, you have plenty to play with. So I simply just take my 2 little bunny ears, tie them in half. And for those of you that are just completely anti-bow, you can just skip it and just do the little wrap around as well. So I just basically take my little bow, and then I kind of manipulate it to the size I want it. And I tighten it, and I want a nice little guy, probably right about there. And I'm just gonna leave these kind of squishy. There we go. tighten it up just a little bit more, and I've got my little ends. And now I've got this cute little bow that's gonna go on the top there. And you can add a little bit of Easy Tear tape, or if you have a little teeny weeny glue dot, or you can even just add a little bit of glue, just anything that's dimensional like this. With glue, takes a little extra time. So if you're gonna use glue, you're gonna have to hold it down for just a few more minutes. So I'm gonna stick my bow right there. Isn't that so cute? And that's why we glued the jar to this one, so you can actually see the stems through it. If you put the vellum on it, on the jar on top, you won't then, the cool feature about this jar is the transparency. All right, you guys, now we've come to the fun part. We are going to create our card base. Now, two options here if you wanted to write your message on the back now, or you can simply just add a little paper that same size and adhere that when you're all done, which I kind of like that idea better, because when you write on the back, if by chance you mess it up, you got to cover it up anyways. Okay, and these go in pretty easy. So I start at one angle, I kind of manipulate the paper a little bit and gently feed it through. So same with this side, kind of start on the bottom. I don't know why I switched things up. Start on the bottom and it feeds through pretty easily. Okay, start on the bottom, or in this case, I'm gonna start on the top. You know, why be consistent? All right, first one in. Second one, it's kind of cool to create these. These would be really fun, like on the road projects. You just bring all your little die cut pieces. You don't need a lot of extra materials. Really fun dies. Okay, my second one is halfway done. And there we go. Okay, I beat it up a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, before we glue this guy on, it might be easier for you to glue your frame on right about now. So I'm gonna take my Thinking of You and I'm gonna apply the adhesive to the bottom. And now I'm gonna go over here to my really pretty glittery background, and I gave it just a little space, so again it offers like a nice little shadow. Add a thin line of adhesive to that stitching line, and then that's gonna go right across the bottom there. Thinking of You. Let that dry for a second. And look at our adorable card. And like I said, this folds nice and flat when you're done. Now you could take thin lines of your Easy Tear tape, and I don't know if I put that in the must-have items, but you know, since we're here, we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna do the Easy Tear 1/8 inch. You can also use glue. On my original, I just used glue. So now there's two different versions. Okay, and we are gonna flip that guy over, and I'm gonna start with just, I wanna do glue too, might as well. I'm gonna start with just one end. There we go. Kind of go all around, squish that on. Then we're gonna come over to the other side. Great. And there we have it, you guys. here are the 2 flower jar pop-up cards that you get with this really fun kit. And lots of ribbon left over, so take your time creating your cute little bows. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Like I said, I have the link for these card kits. I do still have some available. Grab those before they sell out. And then obviously head on over to Pink and Main if you would like to purchase this fabulous die kit to create more of these with your own spin on them. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.